Women in your life that hold you accountable?
Well, I actually hold myself accountable.
No. No one can hold you. You can't hold yourself accountable because
on the beats.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey, good day. You already know who it is. This is your boy Nigel of Sigma Male Diaries. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe, like, comment, and share, and hit the notification bell. Today, I'm going to be introducing a video from MTR, Mediocre Tutorial and Reviews, in regards to the pregame show. Now, has older women failed younger women? Or have younger women, in regards to martyr women, has in fact failed to take accountability, hold themselves accountable as well as each other? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to find out, and I hope you enjoy the show. Let's get to it.
women in your life that hold you accountable?
Well, I actually hold myself accountable.
No. No one can hold you. You can't hold yourself accountable because we're our own. Like, if you don't have outside voice, we just see ourselves how we see ourselves. Accountability comes from someone saying, listen, accountability hurts. We don't hurt ourselves. We don't tell ourselves the things that we need to hear. You're dating a guy, you like him, and an older woman say, I see this is going on. I see, like, this guy is not, that you can trust and know that she's not competing with you. Do you have an older woman in your life?
Yeah, definitely. Some of my mum's friends, when I was a bit more open with my relationship, they would always throw things at me like, oh, if he does this, oh, he's probably cheating, things like that. And it's just, I could tell, they were in competition and they just didn't want me to be happy. So definitely.
Really? Well,
yeah.
Tell it. Like, so they actually tried to put your relationship and your man down. Did you feel like they were trying to, their negativity or their negative experiences, they were trying to put on you and him?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, she brought up a good point though. How many of you women have literally experienced this whole situation, whereas your friends appear to be jealous of you and your man relationship, right? Like, they always find something negative to say. They never give you good, productive, positive input or feedback or advice on your relationship. Say, hey girl, I'm glad you're happy. He looked like he's doing what he's supposed to do as a man. You guys are working good and looking good together. See, that doesn't happen in a society of modern women. It's a competition. Oh boy, don't let it be a mother in competition with her daughter, because that do happen. But ladies, has that happened to you? And are you still friends with that woman in question? Let's get back to the show.
Not allow your friends to manipulate you. What do I mean? Do not allow your friends to manipulate you. I've talked to several women over the course of the last year, many of whom are on track to become wives, mothers, PhDs.
I'm a PhD.
Trying to do the second half of life better than the first half, etc. at all. And then something ends up happening. Inevitably, there's a bunch of starting and stopping. And it is always the same thing. Single women keeping women single. Ladies, I say that for a reason. It's not to be pejorative. It's not to be dismissive. Single women keep women single.
I'm a PhD.
Single.
Extremely negative. It would just always be something. And then now I'm very, very private with my relationship. I'm just private with my life. But they've never met him. So it's how do you have so much to say? So
because you're the younger version.
Do you have anybody, a woman, an older woman who says, I love you, the only thing I want is the best for you? They're not in competition. They're not trying to put negativity. They want to hear what you have to say. They want to meet him, love on him, and actually get the real thing. Do you have any woman in your life like that that's older?
No.
Okay. So this is a failure, Maggie, what we talked about just on her podcast we did yesterday. Older women, we have failed younger women like her. I'm 41. you're about to turn 21.
Yeah, I think
like we're a
it's
20-year
parents as well,
difference.
you know, like mothers as well. I sometimes feel like mothers are in competition with their daughters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We just talked about
Yeah.
Do you feel as though, and I don't want to put your mother on the spot or anything, you can talk in general, but do you find like with your friends or your experience that the moms, they put like a competition, they don't want you to win because they failed?
Yeah.
I'm gonna chime in real quick. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, may he rest in peace, in the last clip that I put in for emphasis on how this whole thing goes with how single women keep other women single. However, what if it's your mother that's throwing the monkey wrench in your plan, and she's supposed to be nurturing, you're supposed to be able to trust her, and she's supposed to be like somewhat of a friend when in need, right? But I have a video from Inner Toxic Relief. I will put the description link in the bio below, or the description bio in the link below. But ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be huge.
Someone who loves and nurtures her daughter. She also helps her to grow, mature, and become her own person. This is not, however, what a narcissistic mother does for her daughter. As with most relationships with a narcissist, the mother-daughter relationship involving a narcissistic mother is complicated. Instead of nurturing her daughter, the narcissistic mother often seeks to destroy her. There are several reasons for this, but I will discuss 7 of the most common reasons why a narcissistic mother wants to destroy her own daughter. Let's get to it. Number 1, she's jealous of her daughter. Like any narcissist, the narcissistic mother wants all the attention to be on her. Though she demands that her children be perfect, she doesn't want them, particularly her daughters, to outshine her.
Generally, dudes, if you're in competition with another dude, usually it's more brute strength, in competition physically, or downright the fighting status, financials. Generally, women compete utilizing manipulation, innuendo, reputation destruction, not giving you the keys to whatever it is that you're trying to do, right? Because women don't generally fight just based off of like physical prowess, but there's other things that they do.
Wonder, right? Women aren't holding each other accountable, but it also sounds like we aren't holding men accountable, right? That they are able to go and do these things with multiple women and attract to that, right? So why is that our standard?
I have a question. So are you aware that one in 3 men are either virgins or haven't had sex in the past year?
Yes, given the weight that women date and things like that. Yep.
What % of men do you think are sexually active and sleeping with multiple women?
I think it's like 30 or 40% or something like that.
10.
It's like
way less.
It's 5 to 10%.
Yeah.
So it's like you're gonna put 5 to 10% of men's decisions on all of men, when really it's like 80% of women that are sleeping with them.
Amen. That's it.
So I'm saying women need to take the accountability, right?
And so it's who's it more on?
Women, for sure. That's what I was posing, that women aren't holding women accountable, but the men, the 5 to 10% of men that are doing that, they're doing it with all of the 80-10%, and we aren't holding them accountable either, right?
Why should they be? Because the women are throwing themselves at them. Like Drake. Like, wait, these girls are waiting
Well,
for
back to the question. Wrong is wrong, right? So if we're holding one party accountable, we need to hold the other people accountable too.
But how are you? Listen, you can't hold men wrong for developing themselves to be as best as what they positively and ultimately can be, and then they get all of this coochie thrown at them.
Okay, baby K. Baby KS over here.
The concept of groupie is a strictly female term. It's not on the flip side, right? So like, I think like, listen, at the end of the day, there's a whole media engine put into place to hold men accountable. I don't want no scrubs. Scrub is a guy, can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of a best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. Come on. And on top of that, on the flip side, they got the women singing about being Miss Independent. I don't cook, I don't clean. Right. All of these things that don't hold them accountable for being a good marriageable wife. That's my thing. I get these questions all day.
The same women, though, are actually wives or want to be wives, but they're telling us like, I don't cook, I don't clean, I'm for the streets. City girls. The city girls are talking about we're independent, but then you're so desperate for a man, you get peed on.
They want the benefits of being modern and not the consequences of being modern. They want the benefits of being modern and the benefits of being conservative or traditional at the same damn time. While a whole media engine has been holding men accountable since TV was TV, since Love Connection was on the goddamn TV screen, and all up until today. The music, the TV, not YouTube, because we hold them accountable over here, and every other forms of media, the movies, the Disney, they've been holding guys accountable since the beginning of time. The talk shows, shout out to Steve Harvey, shout out to the Derek Jacksons. Y'all been holding guys accountable. Now we have platforms today where men can hold women accountable, and y'all get mad at us.
Who do you think's in control of sex? Who do you think's in control of sex, men or women?
Oh, women.
So then wouldn't you say it's women's fault for giving out sex for free?
So let's not get this confused. I am 100% that women are not being held accountable at all, right? But there's a balancing factor. Why can that coexist? Yes, we aren't holding each other accountable or things like that, but there's still a standard of men allowing that we aren't held accountable.
But
that's the only thing that I'm saying. That's the only thing I'm saying.
But what we've already proven is that it's not the majority of men. It is a 5 to 10% that women are choosing to give their bodies to and lay down with. Do you know there are between 18 and 30, there are, I think the number's 3 times the number of men who are virgins than there are than women who are virgins. Women can run through body count and run through. I did a video where I talked about how I read women's body counts.
I'm gonna interject right here just for a split second, and this is a YouTuber by the name of O'Shea Duke Jackson, and it's on the episode of the Negro Manosphere. All right, the Negro Manosphere, and this topic is in supporting theory, facts, opinions, or whatever the case is, on how there are so many men that are sexist by way of a higher percentage. And I will give you a percentage. There are men from the ages of 18 to 47 years old by a rate of 53%, once again, that are sexist. Okay? Now, there are a couple of men in our community that are actually childless, sexless, virgins, men that are from the age of 18 to 40, 52% of those men are virgins. You understand what I'm saying? So men aren't that lucky or fortunate to come up upon sex as women do, because women controls sex. Men controls access to relationships and marriages, and women controls access to sex. All right? And that's just why that the whole concept of a woman born with her value versus a man having to make himself become of value is a significant difference. It's a major disadvantage. However, the roles are reversed as a man gets older and a woman gets older as well. So here's a podcast, y'all, from the Negro Manosphere. Once again, go over and subscribe to his channel, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Let's go.
Centered on how the system started the gender war between black men and black women.
Right.
But to make it more of a personal, and I know you're an academic, and I'm asking you a lot for this particular topic, but you touched on it on your page, so I figured that I might, be a nuisance on the topic, and that is a lot of African American men, despite being looked at as guys who are sexual conquerors, guys who have a lot of game, a lot of swag. We have a lot of our brothers with, doesn't matter what their age or education or looks are, we have a lot of African American men that are in sexless relationships or marriages.
Right.
Okay. Now, how did you even come up? I saw you talk about this a little bit on your page. How did you even come up with this particular idea or topic?
Well, I mean, I went through it myself. I mean, I was married for 9 years. I was with my wife for 11. She passed away about 12 years now. But at the time, we were married for 9, and the last 5 of those years were pretty much sex. But not only sexless, like no intimacy at all. I mean, no, how you doing? No hugs, and we just really we're at a point where, I heard it in a movie once, we were like 2 strangers running a small daycare. I mean, it's pretty much where it had gotten to, And the brother who I was interviewing on my show, the reason I brought him on is I was interviewing him prior to that in another medium. And while I was setting up, we started talking about it, and he had actually gone through it for 10 years. So he was just coming out of a marriage where he was in it for 10. I have other friends who've gone through it for the same amount of time, multiple friends who've gone through it for up to 20 years. And all of these brothers are accomplished, intelligent, degreed, capable, and, in their fields, they're what, high value, 100,000 plus and consistently so. But, once they got married, everything changed. So, yeah.
This is something that I've heard for a while, but how do you think, I know that you talked about it yourself, but if you can estimate, because obviously a lot of black men, if you were to ask them if they're having sex with their wife, most guys probably would lie, but how often do you think our brothers are going through such a relationship or a marriage?
It's hard to say specifically on the basis of race, but I can say, Newsweek magazine, framed it around 15 to 20% of relationships are sexless relationships. Studies show that 10% or less of the married population below the age of 50 have not had sex in the past year. And in addition, less than 20% reported having sex a few times per year or even monthly under the age of 40. So I can't tell you in casual conversation how many brothers I've talked to where they can count on one hand how many times they've had sex in like the last 2 years. Some of whom are married, some are in long-term, relationships where they're monogamous. And I think it's more frequent than we think, because in many ways there aren't a lot of places for men to go to talk to people or even each other about that. Like, no, most of the time those conversations start because, as an academic, I just put things on the table and just, engage people. But a lot of the times these brothers don't talk to anybody about it. They're just living in these silent hells, and, there's nowhere they can go with it. And it leaves brothers with very few options. Because I know, when I was going through it, I was like, there's 3 conclusions. I could either bury my head in the sand and just pretend like nothing's wrong. And I know a lot of brothers live in that life, where they are just and they'll tell you, I'm happy in every area of my life. My wife won't let me touch her. So you can just bury your head in the sand, act like nothing's wrong. You can cheat and hope you don't get caught. But contrary to popular, belief, not everybody is a master player. Most people end up getting caught on one level or another. And then you end up running into what you dealt with the lead attorney in one of your prior videos. You divorce. That's the 3rd option.
Like women anonymously, business women, these were not women, they were strippers and for the street. They actually gave their body count. There was a 29-year-old woman that had 150 plus. And she said, I wish it was higher. Oh my God. And even women who had low body count, low numbers of men, they said it should be higher. They actually feel embarrassed, like I should be living little. And I used to feel there's no shame about it. If you ask the same men, unless they are certain looks, they have a certain amount of looks or money and status, they can't get the average woman. If all of us women went outside right now and was just like, listen, come back to the crib, let's go to the car, let's go to the alley, I'm gonna bust it down for you, I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah. We can rack up the whole city, we can rack up all of London in one night if we chose to. But a men, if they can go outside, even if they look good, even if they have the status, they still have a level of work. They maybe on a good night can maybe get 2 if they are just really, really, really.
I get a whole club. You talking about?
Boys stop.
Women have sex with who they want. Men have sex with who they can.
And only one of them changes the outcome of their relationships in the future. I mean, I'm not going to say that it has no impact, but which one has significantly more? If a man sleeps with 100 women, can he settle down? I would argue still probably. But if a woman sleeps with 100 men, she can't.
Men care about quantity. Mm-hmm. Women care about quality of the women. So if I see, I'm like, that's your ex-girlfriend? That's who you slept with? Like, if she's like a bust down, or I know she's a known hoe.
I know you. Hey, listen, if you guys want to finish watching the rest of this episode, head on over to MTR, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, and watch the rest of this video. And ladies and gentlemen, please remember to subscribe. 96% of my viewers aren't subscribed. And I really need you, ladies and gentlemen, to help a brother out. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, some of you might like what I say, some of you might not. But I don't give a fuck. And I really don't. Y'all stay safe and be blessed. But I'm out.